Okay, so you know how sometimes you stumble across a press release and it's like AI courses, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But this one, about a company called BookSpots, this one, it really got me thinking about the future of education.
Oh, really? What's so special about this book spots?
They're doing in-person AI training. But get this, they bring the whole shebang, the classrooms, the tech, everything, right to university campuses.
Interesting. Like they come to you, it's almost like they're trying to fit into the existing system instead of, building something completely new.
Exactly. And they don't skimp on the setup either. State-of-the-art facilities is what
Mm.
they're calling it. Makes you wonder what that even looks like. A cutting-edge AI classroom. I mean, this field changes so fast.
I know, right? Like, are we talking rows of supercomputers? Or maybe walls that turn into giant interactive simulations? Maybe they've got those robot dogs everyone's talking about, learning right alongside the
Okay,
students.
maybe robot dogs are pushing it a little, but you see what I mean? They're going all in on making it immersive.
Yeah.
But, and this is cool, they haven't forgotten about online learning either. They're offering these courses remotely too, with a big emphasis on reaching a ton of people.
Ah, scalability. That's the key word there. We could be talking about thousands of students all learning this stuff simultaneously.
Right. It's like, remember skipping class? Well, those days might be over, but honestly, the access this could provide, that's pretty amazing. But what really blew my mind, and this is where it gets really cool, is how they're using AI within the learning itself.
Okay, I'm all ears.
They have AI virtual robots acting as real-time tutors.
Now that's different. We've all seen those basic chatbots, but you're saying these are more advanced.
Way more, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they can actually understand what you're asking, the nuances of your question.
That would require some serious natural language processing. And if they can actually respond helpfully, not just with canned answers, we're not talking about your average chatbot here.
Right, that's what I'm saying. This isn't just answering FAQs. It's like having, well, almost like having a real tutor right there with you.
It's a whole different level of AI integration in education, which of course leads to the question, how well does it actually work?
Okay, so we're picturing these AI robots personalizing education. It's almost like, hey, it's too good to be true, right? How would they even begin to do that?
That's the exciting part. We're not just talking about one type of AI here. It's a whole bunch of them working together. Like, take natural language processing. For these AI tutors to actually work, they need to be able to understand, like really understand, not just the words a student is saying, but what they actually mean.
So it's not just about recognizing keywords, it's about understanding the context. Like, if I'm totally lost and I ask the AI tutor, what's the point of all this? It wouldn't just give me some generic answer, right?
Exactly. A really advanced AI tutor using natural language processing. It could figure you're not just asking for a definition, you're looking for a deeper understanding. It could try a different approach, maybe a real-world example, something that clicks with how you learn best.
Okay, now you're talking about learning styles. How does an AI even figure that out? Is it going to make me take a quiz? Do you prefer learning through interpretive dance or by listening to whale songs?
Huh. I doubt it'll be that involved. But you've hit on another key piece of the puzzle, machine learning. The AI tutor wouldn't need to ask you directly about your learning style. It would learn by watching how you interact with the material, how long you spend on certain topics, the types of questions you ask, even how you react to different explanations.
So it's constantly gathering data, analyzing it, and then adjusting its approach based on what it's learning about you. That's incredible.
Exactly. And the beauty of AI is it can do this kind of analysis so much faster and more efficiently than any human. We're talking about personalized education at a scale we've never seen before. But of course, whenever you have that kind of potential for large-scale change, it's important to consider the downsides too.
Right, like are there any concerns about, I don't know, students feeling isolated if they're primarily interacting with an AI? We're social creatures after all. There's something to be said for human connection in education.
Absolutely. And that's something that developers, educators, really anyone involved in this field, they need to keep in mind. It's not about replacing human interaction entirely, but rather figuring out how to use AI to make those interactions even more meaningful.
So it's not an either-or situation, it's about finding the right balance.
Exactly. Imagine a future where the AI tutor handles the initial learning, figuring out your strengths and weaknesses, and then a human teacher can step in, providing more targeted support where you need it most.
Okay, yeah, no, that's really interesting. So it's about AI and human educators working together, each playing to their strengths. Makes you think maybe the potential pitfalls aren't so much about the technology itself, but how we choose to use it.
You hit the nail on the head. And that brings up another crucial point.
You know, throughout this whole conversation, There's this one thing that keeps coming back to me,
What's that?
this idea of accessibility.
Yeah.
Like, if AI can really do what we're talking about, personalized learning on a massive scale, wouldn't that be huge for people who normally wouldn't have access to this kind of education?
You're absolutely right, and that's where the potential impact of AI on education goes way beyond just making things a bit more efficient or convenient. We're talking about fundamentally changing who has access to knowledge and skills.
Right, like think about people in remote areas or places without great educational resources, or people with disabilities who might need totally different learning tools than what's available now.
Exactly. Those are the barriers that AI could potentially break down, creating a much more level playing field for everyone who wants to learn, no matter their background or circumstances. That's something I'm really excited about.
Me too. Though, let's be real, this kind of major shift, it's not going to be all smooth sailing
Of
there.
course not. Anytime you introduce new technology, especially something as powerful as AI, there are going to be challenges, unexpected consequences, ethical dilemmas.
And probably a whole bunch of things we haven't even thought of yet.
Exactly. Which is all the more reason why it's so important to be having these conversations now. The more we think critically about the implications of AI in education, the better equipped we'll be to guide its development in a positive direction.
So for our listeners who are hopefully just as intrigued by all of this as we are, what's the one thing you want them to take away from this deep dive?
Don't be afraid to embrace the future of learning. AI is here to stay, and it's only going to become a bigger part of our lives, including how we learn. So stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged in the conversation. Because the future of learning isn't something that's just going to happen to us, it's something we're all creating together.
And I said it better myself. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us as we explored AI and the future of education. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing